Alright. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Sound Goblin Gaming Saturday stream. Today is going to be one of our one-offs. I am the Krampus.
I'm Shiv.
And I'm Hunter Green.
Alright. Make a small change here just so I can see the whole window. And good, that did not affect our stream. Anyway, so we've got some downtime in between the end of our Talkin' sessions and the start of Danganronpa V3, because I'm not planning on starting that until January. So we have a few weeks where we have essentially a free night, and we have a chance to do either some pet projects that we're considering or other stuff. And so whenever I do these one-offs, I like to go and I like to find a Steam game that I don't think many people know about that I really like. Last time I did this, we did Factory Town, which I have now noted that both Vince and Shiv own.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I haven't played it yet, but I do own
it. So today, we're going to be looking at something a little bit different than that. We're going to be looking at Star Crawlers, released in 2017, and it was a half-price game even then from an indie development studio. This is a sci-fi dungeon-crawling RPG. We are going to start a new game here, and figure out what this game is all about.
Nothing about that description I don't like.
So this is Terminus 9. This is a just mass of derelict floating ships that has been loosely welded together into a space station.
That seems unsafe.
I'm sure it's perfectly fine.
So we only start with one character, but we get to choose which
cyber ninja.
Yeah, we get to choose which of the classes we want to be. So our class choices are cyber ninjas, which are crit machines, or focused on stealth gameplay. They can actually enter and exit stealth for different bonuses. Engineers, who either focus on hitting really, really hard with their custom-rigged mech suits, or building a bunch of little robots to help out on off turns. We have Force Psychers, who are masters of shields. They are the closest thing this game gets to a healing class, because they put overshields on people. Or you can focus them into just very hard-hitting melee combatants. Hackers are debuffers, and to be honest, most party compositions in the game require a hacker for some out-of-combat stuff. Or at the very least, your life is going to go much easier if you have a hacker. Smugglers are basically all about luck. They're basically the Joey Wheeler class, because they get to do coin flips and stuff for a lot of their stuff. Soldiers are basic fighters. They just focus on hitting really hard with different types of weapons. Though they can also focus in just covering the battlefield with explosives that go off on certain turns. And Void Psychers are the kind of Psychers you'd see in 40k, where they're touching, the gooey warp with their mind and using it to cast magic, but sometimes
they are our blast wizards as opposed to our protection wizards and Force Psychers.
Yes. However, a lot of the Void Psyker stuff also involves backlash that can possibly just devastate your party if you're not prepared for it. So, I have a usual composition that I go with in this game when I'm starting a new game, but I'm open to suggestions as to who you want to see first.
Hunter, do you have a preference?
I'm thinking engineer.
Engineer? Alright.
You mentioned mech armor.
Engineer seems reasonable. My suggestion was going to be Time Wizard.
It's going to be the random class, Smuggler?
Yes.
I do...
But I do like Engineer as well.
Yeah.
I assume it has, support, robots and turrets and stuff.
Less support robots, more attack robots, but yes, turrets...
Oh, it has turrets that shoot people.
Yeah. So we'll go Engineer and show it off. Female and male make absolutely no difference. It's just a sprite difference.
The male one has like power loader armor.
Yeah, he's got like
just visually.
Yeah, he's got grippy claws on the end of power loader arms. But one or the other doesn't really matter. Click this 3 times. We're gonna be Kamek. Difficulty here, we're just gonna go for standard. And now we get to create our backstory. So we get to choose, and all the backstories are different for each class. These are specifically the engineer options for backstory.
It looks like it just unlocks special events.
These ones do, yes. So we can either be a slumdog. We were from like slums and low-class areas and worked on hover trucks and dirt. We can be a brat from the engineering guild, where we got nepotismed into really good education. Or we can be junkers, where we lived out in the even further boonies than Slumdog.
I'm sad because for a second there, Slumdog got street cred.
No, it's street code. Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
To the streets. I would go junker personally, but
so now we get choices that actually affect our stats. So, UFP engineer. We went and worked on a hauler for a while. So we get +5 accuracy and +3 damage. If we go and work for Astrohound Technologies, we get 5% crit and 5% dodge. Or we can go work for Rigo's Fine Spirits, which is the Space Beer Company, or one of the Space Beer Companies, and get +2 damage and +5 health.
I don't know why our engineer would work at we're technically a fine spirits engineer, but
It's specifically you work on a prospecting ship belonging to Rigo's Fine Spirits. All of these are vast interstellar companies, so they've got ships and stuff that you would need to work on as an engineer. Also, I believe our choice here of company also gives us a little bit of positive rep with that company.
I typically like grit. I would go Astrohound Technologies engineer, but if other people would like a different choice.
Yeah. At the moment, independent of any stats in the future, that's not a bad choice. Proceed. So now we get the choice of, did we play nice with the people we were working for, or did we burn bridges? So we have a choice of either we did our job and didn't make any waves, in which case we start with +5 rep with Astrohound and +100 credits. So we can choose, I punched my boss in the face and stole his loot, which gets us -15 rep with Astrohound and a rare armor and shield. Or somebody lied about us to the bosses, and we got, like, convicted of space crime. So we left the company, but we also stole our tools in the bargain. In which case
we got convicted of space crimes, so we committed space crimes.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to be committed to space crime, we might as well, do a space crime. In which case we get -30 rep with Astrohound, but we get a rare weapon, armor, and shield out of the deal. Notably, if we do jobs done, we do start with, like, a basic weapon, a basic shield, and a basic armor.
Yeah.
We're not bereft of items. It's just
we
we
just start with rare versions.
Yeah.
Like, I assume we'll be able to come across rare weapons, armors, and shields. So we don't necessarily
certainly,
need to
yes.
start with one. So maybe just having decent rep and credits is a good option.
Alright. Hunter, you got any opinions?
No, I actually think that as well. I don't want to start off with people hating
Alright.
us.
Okay, so we were a junker. We went aboard Astrohound Technologies, and we did our job for them. So we're going to accept and begin. So this is your main menu when you're not in an actual mission. This is the base that we're on for most of the rest of the game. There are various things we can do here, but we're going to start off with going to the saloon. So this is Doc Sam. He runs the bar, and as expected for an RPG, he's also the guy who gives us jobs. And as you can see here, Fringe Culture... Doc Sam is programmed to have a reaction to almost every background you can possibly have. But when you have a thing that interrupts in business, or that gives you an option in dialogue, it'll be marked as such. So like Fringe Culture, we can do this. It appeared behind Doc here, but you may have noticed the little thing over here. We did actually get a drink item from him.
Ah.
Is this some kind of tutorial? Are you tutorialing me?
Oh, really?
We are going to do this because we actually get loot out of this. So, watch out for Sudsy. Okay. So, technically speaking, we can hire new crawlers. We don't have enough money to hire even a single extra crawler, and for every extra member you're hiring, the cost goes up.
Okay.
So the second person is going to be 150. The next one I think is 250, and then it's like 500, 1,000, and 2,500 after that. So getting a full party in this game does take work. Also, you cannot double up on jobs.
Oh.
So we cannot
The
have
available
multiple...
crawler engineer doesn't exist.
Yeah. We cannot have a second engineer in our group. So we also have just a stash of items. We have 32 slots for various things in each stash. So together we have 96. And our backpack can hold 40 items. So we are going to go check the job board for work and do this easy tutorial mission. So some things to note about the job board. The basic information over here on the left-hand side will tell you the employer, the target, the type of mission, in this case, asset acquisition. In this case, we need to find a part to fix his wire terminal. When you do a job against someone, i.e. the target, the target will most often get a penalty to rep. Because you're never just doing derelicts most of the time. This is the only time we're not going to be in someone else's backyard doing space crime.
Makes sense. Everything is owned by someone, realistically. Unless, they're dead.
They're owned by someone in that case. Just not the original owner.
Yeah.
I mean, in this situation where you're actually dealing with floating spaceships, stuff like that, the owner could be dead, and it has not been claimed on him. Therefore, it's salvage.
So I'm going to be...
technically something
by definition, assuming that there are, inheritance rules that would go to other people in the family, etc., etc.
Okay. So
there's the possibility of just playing. However, go on.
There's a lot to go over just in this first room. So first off, your standard dungeon crawling controls apply. WASD, move you forward, back, and turn you left and right. Q and E are your strafe keys. However, you do also interact using your mouse. You have an interaction range of 1 square, so, I can't interact with that cube over there until I actually walk over to it. This game uses a quasi-turn-based system. Enemies are turn-based. Most everything else in the map is real-time. That is important to note for later. So, over here, you notice this glow. We can actually click on... Am I misremembering this? There we go. It's this one. Yeah, so there will be secrets that aren't marked on the map or anything that you just have to like look and go, oh, that's a weird panel that has a symbol on it. And then you can interact with most panels like this or other ones with a left click. In this case, you open up a cache and find a med kit.
Nice.
That med kit is worth 20% health. There are bigger med kits in the game that are worth more.
We apparently have unspent ability points.
We do. We're going to pick this thing up first, and then I'll go into the ability screen, and I'll explain all the abilities we have at our beck and call. Okay.
Abilities, you say?
Aha! Hello, Vince.
Hey.
Hey. So we are playing Star Crawlers tonight. It is a dungeon crawling sci-fi RPG.
Oh.
So this is a very important screen. Like I said, right now we're not doing a mission against one of the corporations. We're just in Sam's basement. So there's nobody to piss off if we take secret stuff. So like this Shinolium lunchbox, we could just take that right now. In regular missions, if we take secret cache items, it will piss off whoever our target is. So we want to either make sure we're not doing missions against people we want to have favorable rep with, or if we're doing missions against people we want to have favorable rep with... Don't steal shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So... Now I need to open up this menu and talk for 15 minutes. So we're going to start at the top. This is our overview of all of the companies that exist in the game. Too far. So we have the UFP, who are the space government. They're all the megacorps that exist. We have the anarchists, who are groups and or people that don't like the UFP, but are still like their own hyper conglomeration, like Galaxy Mart, Gray Solutions.
Galaxy Mart. Like Space Walmart.
So they're hyper-organized anarchists.
Yes.
Okay.
And
My
then we
guess is
have...
they're less anarchists and more, they're not part of the UFP, so they're labeled as anarchists.
And then we have...
That's the Levi's function.
Yeah, they're not aligned with the UFP, so they get automatically labeled as anarchists, but they're not really anarchists. They're just-
Technically, they're listed as anarchists because they're against the UFP,
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
as opposed to other who are neutral, but they're not
Yeah.
part of the
Or the
UFP. They're not
UFP.
actively against it.
Yeah, these guys have not taken a side in the quote-unquote anarchists versus the UFP. These are just companies that sell to everybody, including the people we are on good terms with, Astrohood's Technologies. Now, all of these companies do have specialties that they make, UFP or otherwise. You can see them in the crawler rewards.
Yeah, crawler rewards.
Generally,
typically get for helping them, I assume.
Yeah, if you take a mission from them, they will usually have those rewards. And this is kind of debatable, I haven't ever run the numbers to make sure that this is 100% the case, but generally speaking, if you invade one of their bases or ships, that's the kind of gear you're probably going to find as a reward. Like, if you infiltrate a Kage Enterprises facility, you're probably going to find utility electronics and epic partnerships, which are a kind of, like, loot item.
Swag bags.
Swag bags. Those are just anything. But anyway,
Swag bags and drugs.
so
They're mind-altering experiences.
so this is our loadout. We can use a variety of different weapons as the engineer, but we're one of the few classes that can use shotguns. So we start
Nice.
with Old Reliable, which is 4 shots of 8 damage apiece with 85% accuracy. And notably, it's 225 turn units, which we'll get into later. Our armor just blocks 2 damage and does nothing else. Our shield absorbs 3 damage. After it drops to 0, it will expend one of the charges and refresh after the fight. If it loses all of its charges, the shield will no longer charge up, and you'll lose the benefits from it. We got Hooch. Reduces damage taken, but accuracy is reduced. We've got the Stolen Lunchbox, and we've got the Small Medkit that we found. And now we get to abilities. Every class has 3 trees that you can go down, which are fairly different styles of gameplay for that class. For engineers, we have Constructor, which is building various little robots to help you, numerous smaller ones that have different functions. We have Rigger, which is, we don't build robots, but our exosuit is beefed up. Or we have Bolty, which is we put all of our effort into building one super-powered robot to help us out. So I will let you guys choose how we want to go. Do we want to go small bots, big bot, or self bot?
I mean, you mentioned mechs, so self-bot sounds awesome.
I would typically go big bot, but I'm fine with whatever option you go with.
Okay. Well, I have never actually gone down the self-bot tree, rigger tree. I've always gone for a mix of Bolty and Constructor. Like, get the first couple levels of Bolty and then spend everything else on the Constructor tree. So, probably actually take Rigger here. So the first ability that we get in Rigger is Pneumatofist. It costs 2 gigawatts to activate, which is a resource that the engineer passively generates each turn.
Okay.
It uses 2 gigawatts to power up and fire a Pneumatofist to deal 75% weapon damage. So 75% of the damage that our weapon does. Anyone we hit with this has a 2% increased chance to be crit for 3 turns, stacking up to 3 times. And
Function chance.
yeah.
Yep.
So malfunctions are poorly named because most of the time malfunctions are good. In this case, on malfunctions, stun a random combatant for 50 time units and reset with a 3-turn cooldown. This does include our team. But
Yeah, until we get rank 3, where the malfunction only target.
yes.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, there are 3 levels to each of the abilities. It's generally best to just pump points in until you improve a skill.
Well, especially like the first skill where we have to get all 3 levels to get access to the next
Exactly.
tier. It looks like.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have a choice from there of which one you want to do. You could technically do lower level ones because it looks like it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
Yeah. So the next turn we have, or next level, we have a choice of either the Rumble Pack, which is
Specifically the N64
64 Rumble
pack.
Pack, yes. Deal 30 weapon damage to all enemies and slow them by 5 time units. And each use boosts the damage by 20%. So basically,
by 5 time units.
yeah.
And the malfunction chance by 20%.
Yep. Basically, all the rigger powers benefit from using multiple times, because if it's not used, it powers down the effect.
Yeah.
At the medium level, you just get a railgun. Alright.
Why not?
Yeah.
And then this is our hacking deck, which we have no real control over. We've got the basic-ass programs over here. When we get into hacking, I'll go over that, but that's not something I think that's included in the base systems. Alright, and now we are ready to leave the first room of the tutorial. There we go.
Obvious switch.
Obvious what you say.
Oh no, there's an urchin down here.
If that urchin's trying to steal something, or we're going to steal something from that urchin. Either way.
Whatever. There's a whole bunch of junk down here. So yes, each class has abilities that will aid the team in both combat and exploring. What they mean by that is, if you go down here to abilities, not only do each of these give you, your abilities that you use in combat, but these are all types of checks that can come up. There can be bolty checks, there can be rigor checks, there can be constructor checks. One of the reasons that a hacker is so useful and borderline required is because there are a lot of checks that can be bypassed by using some of the hacker skill tree stuff. So, for example, here, because we have 3 in rigor, we just break out our pneumato wrench.
Just bust it.
Yep. Hey, we get into this room.
Data jack.
Some data jack here. Oh, I guess they did patch this in.
Jackie.
So this is hacking. This is what cyberspace looks like.
There's a hidden data store on this node that can be looted.
Loot the data store.
Yes. So we've
It
got
knows what it
a
did.
sample protect program and a program that a chip that installs a special dupe program. So we're going to right-click to install that into our deck. So now we have the dupe program. Spawn a decoy with a copy of each of your deception buffs and 10% of your HP that deals 3 deception damage each turn. Just going to load that. We're going to replace this with our sample protect because that's much better than the default defense utility that we start with. We now have 30 hardening points and 10 attack.
Most things are better than the default defense ability. It's actually a weird thing in RPGs where sometimes they try and make defense an ability that's actually worth using, but most of the time is just kind of there because it's there in other RPGs.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So, this is our first taste of combat, albeit it's a taste of hacking combat, which isn't quite the same. If we click and hold over an enemy, we will see all the options that we have for dealing with that enemy. As the tutorial said, this is a red program, so it takes damage from blue.
Opening points.
So we're also going to do this to create a separate decoy.
Oh.
All right. All right, so we crashed the entire system, but we did manage to disable the laser barrier that was blocking our way through the tutorial.
And isn't that what's important?
I suppose, yes, if we want to continue playing the game. Oh no, it's a robot. Okay. So, this is actual combat. Down here, you can see the 3 shield charges that we have. And again, if we left-click and hold, we get our regular abilities. We can either shoot regularly, or we can use our pneumato fist. But our pneumato fist is just going to one-shot this thing, so we're just going to use the pneumato fist.
Here's some pneumato fist.
Yeah, the things down here are tutorial monsters, and they're not designed to to stand up to stuff. So that's the Force Psyker's Foxkin Sweeper. So this is a superior shotgun. We don't have to use it on a Force Psyker. We could equip this on our character. It does slightly less damage, but it has extra 15 critical hit and extra
15 critical hit, some crit damage, better maneuver, whatever that is.
Maneuver, I believe, is the dodge stat.
But costs more time units.
Yeah. Okay. So you fetch the doodad, and we've located the secret cache. We are done with this mission. When you are done with a mission, you have to manually hoof it back to an exit door. And the game will pop up a thing that says either, hey, you haven't completed your objective yet, or you've completed your objective. Good job. This is Drawl. He's coming to us before we go to him. But he's basically looking for new blood, but we're going to use Fringe Culture to get in chummy with him.
Also point out that we're no dummy. We know what he's doing.
So yes, he's hooking us up with an Eon Cube, which we're then going to immediately go and sell him back at his store.
I mean, it's his fault for buying it.
Yes, it was a marketing trinket from our Amazon.
Our Amazon.
You notice a unique cereal etched into each casing? Quite the collectible for the idle rich, but otherwise worthless. They're basically space NFTs.
I was about to say, it's space NFTs.
Okay. So we're actually going to go to the black market. I have Eon Cubes to trade.
Oh ho.
So unfortunately, we can't afford anything in his Eon Cube store, because he's handed us a single Eon Cube. And these things cost at minimum 15 cubes. More for the more expensive stuff. But as you can see, he carries rares, epics, some real primo stuff here.
He carries item with standardized RPG color loot rules.
Yep. Now, we do have something to auction.
It's a lunch box.
Right-click to auction. So, this item is the tutorial one, so it doesn't give you a lot of options, but different options will appear for who wants to buy the item, but there's always the option to sell it anonymously, because most of the other options will get you negative rep with some company or another.
Yeah, in this case, he purchases it from us.
Yeah.
And he'll deal with it as opposed to us messing with it.
Yep. He also just has random loot boxes.
Yes.
Just get yourself some armor. Get yourself some weapons.
But those cost credits, so.
Yes.
Supposed to using our Aeon cubes.
And then we come over here into the regular store. So in the store here, we've got three different things. We've got the regular store, where we can buy various trinkets and one-use items and stuff. These range from anywhere like this one to attempt to reveal the possible locations of hostiles on the map, to little passive trinkets that just give you accuracy, crit chance, whatever. Things to disable laser beams, stuff like that. I very rarely ever pick up these one-use items. Generally speaking, there's ways to get around most of the hazards in a level. There's no real reason to spend on stuff like this. She also has the upgrade station where you can upgrade items. So, like, for example, if we wanted to upgrade this Force Psyker Foxkin Sweeper, you can see on the tutorial that it has two upgrades we can do to it. The Force Psyker's Boon and the Force Psyker's, or the Foxkin Weapon. The Force Psyker's boon is only something that will come into play if a Force Psyker is holding this gun. And the Foxkin weapon is just the Foxkin manufacturing bonus that we can enable on here. So the cost of the next action is reduced by 5 time units.
When we score a crit, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
We're not gonna do any upgrading on that one. And then this is the Autocraft bench where we can learn Autocraft blueprints to make stuff. Again, we don't have any blueprints. Hack Shop. This is the store for repairing your deck if you lost in hacking combat. And
Odd Dubé sells hacking bits.
yes. You can also get hacking work, which is just the hacking part of a dungeon without the extra dungeon around it. We can't get that yet, but once we finish the tutorial section here. This is just medicine. It's you want to reset your ability points, you want to heal your characters, you want to buy like healing items or enhancement items. You come here. The wire terminal here allows you to go and contact various factions to try and spend favor in exchange for goods or services. And basically trade in your rep and get like a bonus from somebody or other stuff like that. Yeah, he's just giving us the rundown of the place. He's basically saying, you know, hey, go talk to the other people. Talk to the store. Talk to the black market guy who lives beneath the stairs.
We can hire another crawler.
We can, in fact, hire another crawler, and that's what we're going to do. So, I will again leave it to you guys. Who do you want to see from the list?
I mean, you already know what my choice is.
Random luck themselves.
Yep.
Sounds fine to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll hire a smuggler.
Go down the brief overview for Vince. He was here when we did it earlier.
Okay.
Cyber ninjas are basically your stealth type. Force psychers are basically your defensive people. They put barriers and shields. Hackers do hacking stuff.
Debuffs.
Soldiers are your debuffs. Soldiers are kind of your run-of-the-mill, can do a lot of damage, can take a lot of damage. Void psychers are your blasty. We are an engineer, which has some self-buff stuff and some robots and turrets and things you can build. And we just picked up the smuggler, who does basically has a bunch of stuff that work off like random chance.
Yeah. So to go into that, so we have 3 different things. We have cheap tricks, which are testing your luck at dealing massive damage, maybe. The first thing is coin toss. Pay 1 credit to toss a coin into the air and attack the target for 80 weapon damage. If the coin comes up heads, deal 100% bonus weapon damage and reduce the time unit cost of coin toss by 20. Or a random combatant is struck with bad luck. Trying to remember.
Luck steps to 7, and then something bad dire may happen.
Yes, and something dire may occur, and then rank 3, bad luck strikes enemies only. This also gets us a mug ability, which is just 30-50 weapon damage, and perhaps steal an item or a few credits. Mug will probably fail. If it fails, you suffer 10% damage. And then at rank 2, you stun for 30% of your weapon time unit cost, and rank 3, chances of stealing an item are greatly increased. Bounty is deal 100% weapon damage and invest some credits in the demise of the target. Each use raises cost 20% for the rest of the mission. The target becomes vulnerable, boosting damage taken until the end of their turn.
We literally pay credits when we use it, and when it dies, we get 80% of the credits back.
Yes.
So that does damage, increases the damage they take and reduces their armor.
Yeah.
But basically costs us money. And costs us more money the more times we use it in a given mission.
And Roulette, which is the last one we'll look at for the moment, is just spinning the wheel.
Deals some amount of damage, potentially hurt yourself. Each use bursts the crit chance and credit cost until you bust.
Roulette heals you for 5% of the damage dealt, and rank 3 damage also increases 50% with each use. So it just gets more and more dangerous.
I know what tree I want us to use, so... But let's look at the others.
Akimbo is in the Gunslinger tree, so when you equip a pistol, you add a second attack to weapon abilities that deals 50% damage. Shoot for...
Basically do 50% extra damage for pistols.
And if you use the Akimbo ability, you shoot for 100% weapon damage and 100% to a random target.
Crit chance and time unit.
Yeah. Push your luck, charge forward brashly, shoot for 100% weapon damage, each use boost damage 40, and chance to taunt all enemies by 15. If you taunt, push your luck resets and gains a 5-turn cooldown. So basically, you keep doing more and more damage until everyone in the encounter targets you.
Yep.
Or shoot first. Because we know what kind of reference this is. Combat initiative is boosted 25%. When the enemy acts, 30% chance you will shoot first to deal 80%.
Shoot first, just do damage. Okay.
Shoot first can trigger only once per turn. And then trick shot is shoot the target for 100% damage and bounce a bullet up to 3 times to hit random targets.
Bouncing bullet deals 40% weapon damage, 5% crit chance. Extra crit chance of bounces, extra bounce.
Bounces up to 5 extra times.
Times.
And then dirty moves is just traps and mechanisms that you throw into the field.
Okay.
So volatile trap is when enemies act, there's 20% chance to explode and deal 75% to 100% weapon damage to the target. The explosion chance increases 20% each turn. You can set up a hollow trap, which is a similar thing.
A chance they attack to deal damage and reduce the hit chance.
Yeah.
Each turn the trigger chance goes up.
And at rank 3, when you use hollow trap, it stealths you.
Stealths you, yeah.
Flashbang just applies 1 to 2 stacks of blind to all targets, reducing hit chance 5%. All targets, I believe, means all targets.
Enemies.
Yeah, enemies.
I assume all enemies? No, I assume all targets as enemies, because it refers to combatants for things that can affect you as well.
And then deploy a decoy to tunnel enemies for 1 turn or until destroyed, and anything that strikes the target takes 40% damage. So,
I mean, I want cheap tricks, but you already know what I want.
Generally speaking, if you take Smuggler for one of 2 things, okay, technically you take it for all 3 depending on certain circumstances. If you're already throwing, like, robots and stuff and a bunch of other, like, summoned units out on the field, you take dirty moves. If you're going for direct attacks, you take Gunslinger. And if you're looking to just do fucking nonsense, you take cheap tricks.
I want cheap tricks. I want to flip a coin and do something.
Sounds fun to me.
Alright. Yeah, they do have a pistol right now.
Yep.
Alright, so now that we've done that, we've got 2 crawlers. We have the option, well, okay, we don't have the option right now, but we could have the option in the future of waiting for new jobs. But you have to pay the upkeep for your team, which goes up the more people you have and the higher level they are. Or we can just take this story mission and get into the first real dungeon of the game. So we're basically going to investigate a distress beacon. Choose our team. You can take, I want to say, 5 units is the maximum. It's been a while since I picked up this game.
Realistically, we'll find out.
Yeah. So, this is Luna. She's as close to a friend as we have out here. She pilots us around a lot and, like, pilots us to and from missions. And acts as our sort of middleman contact between corporations and us. But yeah, we're actually getting a call from Chimera Biopharma Solution. Sure, we'll talk to them at least.
Hey, we have a smuggler. We might as well argue for more pay.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out. Sweet 150 credits and probably some faction rep. Not bad. Just checking around here to make sure there's no secret compartments or anything. Yeah, so these little robots are going to be everywhere on the ship.
Little robot.
But these are small little robots with 36 health, and we are big chunky engineer with a pneumatic fist.
Oh. Yeah, we can't coin toss because we have no money.
Yep. And over here on the side, you can see our gigawatts. Yeah, so we begin each battle with fully energized gigawatts. And abilities that use gigawatts regen 1 per turn after it.
Curse and mischance.
Yeah, mischance is a pretty big thing.
There's a like 10% chance every time you use it malfunctions and targets a random person.
Random enemy, we have
Nope,
fully
not
upgraded.
enemy. That's true. We do have a fully upgrade one, so don't only do it.
Yeah.
Not fully upgrade, could absolutely go after us.
Alright, we have
Oh,
6
look at that, we have
credits.
credits.
Yep.
We can now waste those credits on attacking enemies.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like anything else is in here.
Okay.
Large medkit. Check over here, check over here. Oh!
Found a button.
Yeah, you gotta look everywhere for those buttons, man. They'll hide these in the weirdest places. Hidden stash. Ooh! Boom slang light armor of Starlight. Take that. We're just gonna go and...
Yeah, it's just
That's
better
just-
across the board for him.
Yep. Alright, so he's wearing light armor. Notably, engineers are one of the few classes that can wear heavy armor. Oh, shady dealings. Stash the goods in my locker, passcodes in the galley in the usual place. Remember, red, yellow, red, yellow. So these story missions always have preset maps. But there are a whole slew of random missions that you'll take as you're playing the game that will take place in randomized ships.
Yeah. Another robot.
Robot. Wholly unnecessary, but I wanted to show it off.
Heads. It dies.
Storage container, get another small med kit. There's a cred stick here. Like 5 credits. Well, this is the galley. We are looking for something in the galley like this. So, red, yellow, red, yellow. So 1, 4, 8,
3.
1, 4, 8.
I wasn't expecting escape level of a puzzle.
Yeah, they get pretty saucy with their puzzles.
Blonsky.
Yeah, as an engineer, we can just bypass the maglock, but there's no, like, reward for doing it the sneaky way versus doing it the real way, unless you just don't want to bother finding the code.
Yeah.
I mean, time saving is time saving.
Yeah. I'm gonna take those chems, of course.
That's a spice.
Spice and choo-choo. And Mentex. So Spice increases your crit chance, but lowers your crit resistance. Choo-Choo is time unit cost reduced by 30, but accuracy reduced by 5. And Mentex is experience gained increased by 10, dodge chance reduced 5. Alright. Do more once-over, find some credits. Okay. So we can't get in there until we go to the bridge and override the lockdown. But whatever's in the cargo hold down there is our eventual goal. Oh. Medical supplies from Chimera. I dare say this is what we're looking for.
Check the shipping minute.
Yep. So these are bound for Brighthall, which is a colony in the region that's been struggling with an outbreak of pox. The bill in full for these has already been paid to Chimera.
Oh god, that's terrible. Send the Chimera.
It's a hard life outside of that.
It's a hard life out in the fringe. And we did tell Chimera, yeah, we'll look for your supplies.
Okay. So we have turned those... they're not going to disappear from here anytime soon, but we have made the decision to turn those creds over. And that will be honored at the end of the mission.
Yep.
Now, I will say that if we had gone the other way with that, it's not just throwing away credits. We would not get the same kind of payout. We would not have gotten 100.
I assume we would get a different sort of payout, like if we either sold them, we sell them and get money for it.
Yeah.
Or if we send them to the colony, we may get a reward from the colony. But
we specifically get a reward from another one of the factions, one of the quote-unquote anarchists.
ah,
Are those sticky notes on the monitor up there?
Yes. Yes, those are.
yeah, probably has the password.
Almost certainly.
I do not have a way of zooming in, but I'm almost certain you're correct. Log terminal. So yeah, these guys found a massive ship called the Stella Marin. Marin, sorry.
The Gugon sector.
Yeah. Functioning, no signs of mechanical stress. Yeah, this is a salvager's dream. I'm gonna gonna override the lock on the cargo doors. Get some of the tchotchkes here. The environments are really well detailed. I really like the level of like care and attention to detail that they've put into everything. Also, I'm gonna come in here real quick before I forget to. Ooh. Alright, so we've got Soldier's Auroch hand cannon and tactical armor. Both of which sound like things that our smuggler might want.
Fancy hand cannon does sound good.
Well, I say that, but then...
Yeah, it is
As it
just a
stands.
loss of dodge.
Yeah.
A little bit less difficult,
One less damage for more accuracy and more
but
time
also
units.
slower.
And this one mostly only upgrades well if you're a soldier.
Yep.
Whereas this one just has quick draw 3 and glacier, so we can still
Oh, yeah,
sell
she already
these.
has the green pistols, yeah. Yep.
These are worth 11 apiece. 11 space credits is nothing to sneeze at. Getting around real quick, see if I can spot any ceiling doodads. Okay, we're good. Alright, so with pretty much everything else on the ship looted for the most part, let's
There's a
go
hole in
down.
the door. There's a door we haven't done. Unless those both lead to the
Yeah,
same
those
place.
both lead into the
Cargo bay.
cargo bay here.
Aha, yeah. Oh, I've seen this. That's Pyra. Pyra's in there. We're actually playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
So we're
I
gonna
thought
go
we were
down
playing a
here.
good game.
But first, we're gonna go back here. Credits. People just leaving their
For
credits.
those who might have been offended by that joke, I have no experience with the Xenoblade Chronicles games whatsoever. I've actually heard they're very good.
They are very good.
They're very good. I like them. I wish Xenoblade Chronicles X would come out for the
It's apparently coming.
Switch.
Supposedly it is coming and is might actually require 2 cartridges for the physical version.
Oh man, it's a boss fight.
Either that or it might require a massive download for the rest of it. Because
Versus
according as it's more than what they the normal cards.
whatever this is. Oh, it struck by bad luck.
Oh, but it was struck by bad luck.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
So bad luck for reference. Damage taken is increased by 5%, 10 turn duration. And because we have the upgrade, it can stack up to 7 times.
Yep. And it won't affect us.
Yep.
Sorry. Shame we're coining it. Want to keep your rocket fist going?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I don't play the self robot builds very often. There we go. Punch its lights out. A prototype tech eye.
5% XP gain.
Yes. Notably, this does not actually replace your eyeballs. It's just an eye that you place on your equipment. Provides pointers on how to improve.
So it's a third eye.
So yeah, this is some type of
Fourth, eighth.
this is some type of really
Pod.
advanced
There you go,
robot. Definitely not just a run-of-the-mill robot.
So advanced we had to kill it.
I mean, how else can you dismantle it to learn how it works?
Oh, we're not dismantling it. Even better.
Do we get a robot?
We may get a robot.
Nice. Does it have its own class, or is it?
It does have its own class. It is its entirely
Ah.
own class of robot. So
That's
yeah,
real cool.
Tallery comes out and she goes like, "Oh, you found a robot?
That's a fancy robot. I can fix that up and give it a gun. So that it may kill. I mean, do work for you.
I was gonna say I'm not entirely sure I'm happy about the idea of a robot having a gun, but if it's killing for me, I'm all for it.
So yeah, this thing's a level 7 AI, which is just flat out illegal in UFP space.
That's a shame. Give it a gun.
Do I look like an AI specialist? No. I want it to have a gun. It's my enemy.
Yeah. 2, I patch it up and we get it playing on your team. I'm not letting a decision on this. We're getting the robot. 'Cause I wanna
Oh
show
yeah,
it.
no.
Selling it is an option.
Selling it is an option. You can rip out the AI core and sell it for a decent chunk of money.
Oh,
Okay, so quick vote on this. Who
no, we get a
wants to
robot.
have a robot? Who wants to have a robot?
No, I'm vetoing
I do.
I'm vetoing the decision. We're gonna have a robot.
I think it's unanimous either way.
I mean,
Like veto or not. I'm fairly
Krampus is the
certain we
one
want a
playing.
robot.
It's not a democracy.
My point is, he doesn't have to veto it. I'm fairly certain we all agreed. Let's have a fucking robot.
Yes, fix it up. I want the killer robot. My team.
See, the writers knew what it's all about too.
Also, we have mail, apparently.
Yes. So we don't get the robot yet. It takes one mission for the robot to be repaired back into fighting condition and for them to paint a smiley face on.
Makes sense. Also, yeah, smiley face.
But we did get a rank in engineering, so we can pick up the next ability. So we can either get the active ability of Rumble Pack, or we can go into to Quick Stop.
Boost hit chance.
Yeah, that's just a passive that boosts everyone else's abilities with a decrease in that buff as the fight goes on.
Okay. Yeah, so we start off with a boost to hit chance and damage reduction, which reduces down to 2%. So we can get a crit damage boost and a damage boost.
Yeah.
If we get the upgrades for it. Or Rumble Pack, which is a AoE effectively. Hits
Yeah.
multiple targets. And
AoE that does 30 weapon damage and slows them all by 5 time units.
but will pretty often malfunction eventually because the spell buff chance goes up 10% every time we use it.
Yeah.
I mean, I go with either one. Either one's useful. We don't have an AoE attack yet, but having just a team-wide buff is also good.
Yeah. I think we're gonna go for Quick Stop on this one.
Yep.
Now we do get 2 ability points on level 2. The ability points eventually peter out to 1 per. You don't get 2 for every level up, but they front load you with a bunch of points.
So you can get started, then slow it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Did we equip that XPI to someone?
We have not yet. But checking the email was important because this is how we get the reward for our decision. So we have collected 150 credits. And now we can go and equip the eye. Out.
We have enough credits to get another person. Or
No, remember it goes up in cost over time?
yes, it was 150 for the first one, 250 for the next person.
Oh, I didn't see how many credits we have.
Yep, we have 2 of 3. Last I checked.
Yeah, we're gonna go check in just a second and see if we can get another person. But basically,
What happened to the Stella Marin? They were all murdered by a robot.
It's more complicated than that. But if you really want to boil it down, yes, they got murdered by a bunch of
Were they
robots.
murdered by our robot?
No. They were not murdered by
because-
our robot.
No, because it wasn't our robot at that point.
They weren't murdered by the
Rebuilt.
robot that's currently in the bay getting repaired to become a robot.
Ah.
Sense of violence, no mechanical stress, no bodies. There's a shit ton of resources on there, and the corp wants it back.
Very important question. How's it feel to want?
So yeah, the Stella Marin is an Aurora Starliner's ship. And they want the black box from the Stella Marin so they can just do a diagnostic of the ship's systems. Now, the fact that they are specifically calling out, now don't do a data burst, means you're probably going to get the option to do a data burst on the mission.
Under no circumstances, absolutely don't do this thing that you're totally going to have the option to do.
What's that? I should do that thing? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I hit this button that just said, do it.
So I was wrong, it's 200 for a new class.
Ah.
So, who do we want to add to our team? We are pretty okay on regular We're not really good at anything right now.
Do we need a hacker sometimes? Because I remember you saying that is an advisable.
Hacker is a useful
class
one.
right?
We might take this opportunity to get a hacker early and start getting some points from hacking stuff.
Yeah.
Alright.
Get our debuffer.
Hire hacker. Leave. Exit the saloon for the moment. You always get crawl. If I'm remembering this correctly, and I might be mistaken on this, but you believe you get crawlers equal to the highest level of your party. Either that, or there's just a certain minimum level of character that you hire as time goes on. We hired Trix straight out as level 2.
Yep.
So we have 3 different options for hackers. We have optimization, which is boosting offense and defense of our team. So basically, the hackers are all about infecting people with a virus of some kind. We infect people with a virus, and then depending on what virus it is, it does X. This one is the Hotlink virus, which adapts to your weapon element and deals 30% weapon damage instantly and each turn for 3 turns. When Hotlink updates, everyone gets 1% resistance to the adopted element for 1 turn, stacking to 5%. This becomes better as you upgrade the skill. Using this ability applies optimization to friend. Now, the optimization tree has basically the trick to it is that rank 3 thing. Using this ability applies optimization to friendly targets, boosting their damage 2% per stack. Stacks to 10, loses 1 stack each turn. So basically what you're doing is you're getting the different abilities in the tree, and all of them at rank 3 apply optimization to friendly targets, and you're basically just slamming that buff over and over to get more boosted damage. There's other stuff that interacts with optimization, like timed release. The hacker does have access to some minor healing, don't rely on it. But yeah, the optimization's all about buffing your team. Malware is using nanites to deal damage over time. Just basically weapon damage each turn. Uh,
While launching a bomb is active, there's a chance to divide by 0. Obviously, this is fatal to most enemies.
yeah, just a flat chance of instant
Of
death
auto
to
kill.
enemies.
Yeah.
And Shareware, which is 20% chance that spreads to a random foe, which improves as you go down there.
Which is actually good for most things, because like that would also affect the viruses you have from the other trees.
Yes. Yeah, there is some benefit to multi-treeing. I believe you can max one and half another at the very highest level character. But it takes a while to do that. So Malware is just all about straight damage. It's not interested in like debuffs so much as damage over time. Rootkits is your debuffs. Rootkit has a 50% chance to stun for 30% of the time cost unit of your weapon when it affects an enemy. The system shock reaches 20 stacks.
Accuracy.
Yes, accuracy. 81% hit chance for each attack made by strike or shoot. And then you just charm the target to attack other targets. But you can only charm a target once, and then it gains 90% resistance to charm. I think we're actually going to go down the malware tree.
I mean, I don't know if we should go down. I mean, the right one points, so it doesn't
No,
matter.
that's we got did it. Yeah,
Okay,
until
but
we
if
leave this
malware's-
menu.
Yeah, just saying, if malware is mostly damage, we have 2 people who can do a bunch of damage already.
Yep.
So we don't really need more damage on top of the damage we already have. So I would either do Rootkit for debuffs, or optimization just to keep pumping buffs on our party along with the buff we grabbed from Engineer.
That's true. Let's go optimization then. 3, and then...
I would. What's the other one we have besides time release?
Overclock, which is using this ability applies optimization to friendly targets again.
I would probably do time release just because the level 3 ability now is really nice.
Yeah.
There's just a 30% chance that rather than losing a turn, it adds a turn onto it, so keep our buffs going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that actually raises, so by the next turn, we're going to have a 50% chance to, by the time we actually get that ability, it will be a 50% chance to,
There's a chance.
instead add 1 turn to its duration. Alright. Hackers use the lightest of armors, the lightest of shields, and either SMGs or pistols. Speaking of pistols, for sale, let's just sell. These. Actually, probably gonna put this into storage in the event that we get
Like a soldier or a force
force
shield.
sucker, yeah. Okay. So yeah, so we have the option of going straight to the black box.
But now we also have a bunch of side jobs.
Yes. Now, this suggests that we have level 3 for it, so we generally do want to go and do...
Is the color of the thing basically an indication of roughly how challenging it will be?
Yes, compared to our level.
Okay.
Green is equal to our level. Orange is 1 above, which is why both black box and must-have here are there, and red is 2 above. 2 or more, I think.
2 or more. Yeah. Hard.
Yeah. So,
And it shows what our reputation change will be, so who will gain, who will lose.
yep. There are some missions where you just don't lose.
We just gain, yeah. Like that one, you only gain 2, but it doesn't lose anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be inclined to not do the screen surveil this because it would lose the reputation we have gained with Chimera.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and do the Galaxy Mart one.
Basic Galaxy Mart ship.
We'll take all these 3. Plus, once we do this, we'll have the murder bot for our
For future stuff.
for future members.
Or for a fourth member.
Yeah. So back in the tutorial, I mentioned that enemies were turn-based, but most everything else wasn't.
Yes.
This is an example of that.
So like enemies won't move a space till we move a space, but this will keep moving regardless of what we do.
Exactly. So we have to kind of do a little dance around here.
Do a little dance.
Now, when we're in this menu, it freezes. So we
Okay.
have our time to think about decisions here. Let's see.
Makes sense.
Let's... First
Disarm security system? Ah.
And yeah,
You have a hacker.
this is why you want a hacker on your team, because any of these things that you can do, the hacker generally can do much better.
Automatically, yeah.
Yeah.
Without having to do the manual hack.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
in that like one's case, we didn't even have the option of doing a manual hack on it.
Exactly. Now, granted, like just happened, they have a chance of failing.
Yeah.
So, now the security lockdown has happened, which means A, we can't access the terminal anymore, and B, if there are any enemies in the close area, they are now...
Suspicious hatch.
And now alert to our presence.
Yeah, they're now alerted. Terrible gavel! The terrible gavel is a heavy melee weapon.
Do we have people who are proficient with melee weapons?
As I say, of the characters we have, it'd probably only be if it's possible. Might be on melee, yeah.
I believe the engineer can use heavy melee weapons. I would have
Go to loadout, it may show on there.
Yeah.
And he can equip it.
Yeah. Yeah. These are all defaults in the space. If we don't have anything in here, it will just not show. Or if we don't have anything in here, these defaults will show
it's
up.
not a weapon. Yeah. Or it's not an actual like physical weapon we have. It's the default, so we can't like sell it or anything like that.
Right.
But now here's a big ass hammer. Why do they have teeth? Oh, they're not robots. Okay.
Yeah.
These are
They're space
biological
mites.
I was
organisms.
gonna say, obviously, to protect their tongue.
Note, however, they can still be hacked.
I mean, yeah, it's like everything made of flesh. Right, fellow beings of flesh?
I am
we
a
not?
flash gang.
You are totally hackable, right?
Yeah. When does the dot do damage from our hack? Is it on their turn or our turn?
The dot does damage on their turn.
Okay.
However, the dot does have a chance of missing.
That's weird, but okay.
And it's still an attack, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's already applied to it, it's weird.
Well, that wasn't applied to it. That was applying it to a new target.
Oh, okay. In that case, that has chance. Yeah, okay.
And we get a slew of tactical armors and light armors out of that.
Why those space mice were carrying around armor on them, but nonetheless.
I mean, it was probably in their guts after they ate someone who was wearing it.
Despite the teeth, they just eat their prey whole.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, the teeth is there to protect the tongue.
Yes, that's just a straight up upgrade.
Open
Just a
block.
straight upgrade. Yep. Okay. Oh no! B.
Bloated space mice.
That thing's huge.
It has huge guts.
You know,
And 30 more hit points.
I'm pretty sure it does have huge guts. Yeah, they are just kind of terrible to look at in general.
They remind me of Tektites.
Yay, level up.
That is a rifle.
Counterfeit rifle.
And hey, we got our next ability. So we can choose either Bounty or Mug.
I mean, I'm fond of Mug.
Yeah, but I would do Mug as well. Bounty's cute, unless upgrades to Bounty eventually make us recoup more than we pay. That is the question.
Well, here's the thing. We can spend the points to see what the thing is. Let's see. Turns a chance to be boosted.
So at full rank, we get all of our money back.
Yeah.
So it is effectively free at maximum rank. It just costs us more and more every time we use it, so
Yeah.
we will eventually not be able to use it anymore.
No.
Mug is also good because it gets us
Okay.
a chance to steal stuff.
Oh,
And
and
upgrade
at
stuns.
rank 3, Mug will definitely not fail.
That makes it sound like it will still fail.
Well, no, we're at probably not fail right now. At rank 2. And the first level of it was Mug will probably fail, so... It is going up in probability each time.
Yeah, we're just not seeing the actual number. Definitely will. Definitely not fail. Still sounds like
There's a 5% chance of
you
failure.
threw a definitely in there for some reason.
Still kind of a security thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extreme sports goggles.
Luckily, we have Hacker and can turn off the security.
Nice.
Nav console. So this is the actual thing that we came for to...
Yep. They still need to hack it.
Yep.
Yep.
She failed, but we had enough optimization that she didn't
There we go.
get us caught effectively.
That was the one. Yeah, that occasionally just happens.
Yeah.
Oh. Hi, Bugs.
Wow.
Authentic meme voice. Yeah, there's cooldown on mugs, so we can't use it constantly. God, the bloom.
Alright, that one's gonna die anyway, so you can ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steal, 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 steal.
Where's it? It's worth 5 credits.
Authentic base. Boy, it looks authentic. Yes. We have Mug to get us back some of the money we spent on flipping coins at enemies. That's what happens.
Yes. Big work. Stole a credit stick from me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Ming boss. Oh, we got a heavy shield. This is just a closet.
This is indeed just a closet.
Step here for a second, we're right back.
Yep.
Yep.
More crab.
Yep.
Sound Goblin Gaming cannot escape the tyranny of crab. Even when it's not Tactical
Eventually.
Tuesday.
Eventually, all return to crab.
pea shooter. Oh. Yes, now we just see all the enemies. At least for a while.
Well, that's useful.
If you're doing a mission where you're just like plowing through everything, then sure you don't know where the enemy is necessarily. But if you're doing like a higher level mission where there are much bigger enemies than you can necessarily handle, it's useful to know where your enemies are. We're still in like the easy peasy modes here.
Yeah.
Where they're just throwing the mites at us, who are easily reconcilable. Here.
I take bare bone resources and zero thought, really.
Yeah. Huh. Absolutely nothing.
Yep.
Lights.
I'm terrified of the enemies that would have enough health for us to actually get 7 stacks of bad luck on them.
I guess that's mostly for bosses and stuff.
Yeah. It's generally what most of those abilities are for. Because, quite frankly, otherwise the random encounters would be insufferable.
Oh, tactical shields. Also, the credits that we get from Mug range anywhere from 5 to, like, 25, apparently.
Okay. Credits are credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any amount of credits, and we're spending a couple credits every fight on throwing coins at people.
Yeah. Well, one of those we just got was 25, so we have more than made up for every time we've used,
The Zeus light shield.
Yep.
I think we want to stick with the light shield now. We'll go up to tactical. Actually, I think we can just go around this way, yeah. Oh no! A hatch full of worms!
Tricksy worms.
Hey, an Eon Cube.
Ah.
Oh no, security
Spirit
droids.
droids.
So they just reduce
Reduce
damage by
seven.
7.
Resist charm, you can't stun them, or you can't charm, confuse, or taunt them because they're robots.
Yeah.
And rifle through their pockets, though.
Yep. Now, notably, one of the other idiosyncrasies about the coin toss, the extra damage from the coin toss bypasses shields.
Nice.
It is
You'll
just...
probably want to get the. Can you get the hack on the other target, or only like hack only available on one target at a time?
No. Realistically, I should be spreading out the hacks the way that optimization
'cause
works.
It's more updates, so it's more buffs. Yeah, so we want to have as many hacks going as we can.
I will be back.
Yeah. There we go. Third time's the charm.
Stool Stick.
Yeah, the flat damage reduction they have still applies, but it goes past the shield. Stole these credits from them. We rifled through their pockets.
Alright. Fight some mites, get some experience.
Build their card 6. You're beating up these poor crabs for the launch money.
I am, yes.
I'm sure I went for another bug.
Yeah.
A loot bar. Flavor is epic.
A big bite.
malfunction, but that doesn't really matter.
Foxkin Clob.
Ah, the clob.
Yeah, Kamak unfortunately cannot equip heavy armor. That's it. Strictly worse hailgun, got it.
Yep.
Oh well.
I mean, it makes sense. The clob was a gun from GoldenEye, which was like a rendition of a real-world gun. I can't remember what the real gun it was supposed to be, but it was basically like they couldn't use the actual name of it, so they called it the clob, and then it was just a garbage gun to begin with. So the fact that the clob is an awful gun in this game is, makes perfect sense.
Aha!
A Galaxy Mart Chromium ship, huh?
Yes, but if we steal that, it will negatively affect our rep with Galaxy Mart. The
Ah.
reason we're here is,
Yeah, but it's 3 stars. Imagine how many Eon Cubes you get for that.
you're not getting Eon Cubes. You are getting a large sum of money when this gets auctioned.
Oh, that's true. We're getting auction stuff for, which could be Eon Cubes. We got Eon Cubes for that one thing we sold to him. We got 20 Eon Cubes for that lunchbox.
Yeah, but the question is, do we want to lose the rep that we're getting for this mission with Galaxy Mart? Plus probably a little bit extra. Just the act of taking this cube will get us negative rep, like 5 or something like that.
Yeah, but we're going to get 2 back.
I'd probably just say leave it.
We can come back for it later if we change our mind. Check over here. That's it. Another Eon Cube.
That is fact. Another Eon Cube.
Stupid space NFTs. There's some worms. We stole heavy armor from that worm.
But now can't use it against us. That works, right?
I guess. I don't think that's not how this works.
Explode everyone.
We hacked its head and it exploded.
That's too much time. Straight up heavy armor.
Yeah.
An unobtainium canister.
Yeah, an unobtainium canister, which is another contraband item. Oh no! Space might swarm.
Space might swarm.
Which counts as a single unit.
Seems less effective than the usual space mine counter.
They stole tactical
Stole
armor
their
from
tactical armor.
Alright, now take the fire extinguisher.
We cannot take the fire extinguisher.
On a fire.
My eyes!
The bloom.
Ah, we got the rusty warhammer.
The Orok tactical armor of dampening.
That's just information on hostile targets. We don't care anymore. Reasonably certain everything on the ship is dead. Get these credits.
It does look like everything on the ship is dead.
Oh, well, we got a data jack.
Aha. Jackie.
Going into cyberspace.
Yep.
Gotta go to the control node. You got some bugs. Yeah, so this hacking stuff all got added in a later update. It was not in there.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, crashed.
404.
Unfortunate.
We actually crashed.
Uh,
That. Interesting.
like I said, we didn't lose all our health in that fight.
No.
No.
We may have lost our MP, which can also get you ejected from the system, but...
Apparently ejected us from the game.
Well, ain't you fun. Alright. We're gonna see if we can do this.
Yeah, quick save, load back in, and see if it works.
Yeah. And, because we had a lot of profit on that run, and I'm gonna be really annoyed if we lost all of the profit on that run.
Alternatively, maybe the game can't quick save.
Oh no, I've made things worse.
The not so quick save.
Oh.
So, does this game auto save?
Start of mission, I think. One second.
We may be at a early stream ending.
We may be at an early stream ending if this is just nuked our save. I'm going to start up the game again. We're gonna...
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Game crash, I see.
Yep. Well,
Well, we did a hack, and then the hack crashed. So it said we took too much damage to our stream deck, but we didn't actually take that much damage. And then we were just stuck on a screen of a Starscape. And then we tried to quick save out so we could reload, and it did not quick save.
Okay, so we lost all of our progress on that. We're back to the end of the last mission.
So do we want to restart, or do we want to call it an early end?
We're going to call it an early end. This is a one-shot. I'm not intending on keeping this progress.
It is a shame.
Okay, despite that bug, I really enjoy this game. I think it is one of the better dungeon crawlers that's on Steam.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun.
It is usually on sale for something to the tune of a pittance. Like $12.99 or something like that if you get it on sale. Maybe $9.99.
that's not awful.
Not at all, actually.
I was figuring from the look of it, it's probably one of those games that'd be like $20, so
yeah.
I assume on the sales being like $10 makes sense.
Yeah, regular sale regular price right now is $19.99.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and apart from bugs like that, which make you want to go and save your game manually.
I mean, it's an RPG.
Yeah. It's my bad for not having a save after we completed the objective. But I have not encountered that bug before, so I was caught off guard. Anyway, thank you for joining us on our Sound Goblin Saturday one-shot. We're probably going to be shifting our time from 2 o'clock normally to 9 o'clock, doing later stream. Just due to changing schedules for some of the members, and that being easier time for some people. Join us tomorrow when we'll be doing our Tales of Berseria game, continuing our playthrough of that. Join us on Monday for, I'm assuming, another Smite session, Mackie?
Yep.
Alright. And join us on Tuesday as we continue our war against the crab in Phoenix Point.
Damnable crab.
Until then, I've been the Krampus.
I've been Chip.
I've been Hunter Grain.
And I'm Vincent.
Alright. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye, everyone.